devs showcased the Diablo 4 update. It's probably trash, but let's see. Who knows?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Gauntlet is coming out here just shortly, and Blizzard just put out a video kind of breaking down, showing Gauntlet and the gameplay, and kind of answering some of the common questions, etc. So let's get into it, take a look at it, and we will be live as of posting this video. If you want to watch it, you can see me live. It's in the description down below. Let's go.
I thought he said he wasn't going to play it. I guess he switched up. He's going to play it anyway. I did hear like very good things about the Gauntlet. I'm still not going to play this season, and that's okay. But I have heard like that it's been positive out of all of the reviews. Overall, it seems to actually be a positive.
Into the video. Okay, Diablo 4, what you need to know about the Gauntlet. Blizzard just released a video all about the Gauntlet, so let's see what it has to offer.
Sharpen your blades because Diablo 4 is getting a new competitive game mode called the Gauntlet.
It's here, baby.
And I'm here with Marcus.
You can only go up from where they're at, to be honest. That's what I mean. Like, they don't really have to add too much to you know, to get people happy. 1 is greater than 0, you know what I mean?
Kretz, how you doing, friend?
Hey, Bloodshed. Doing great. I'm excited to talk about the Gauntlet. I assume you're pretty pumped?
As long as I beat everyone in the office, then I think I'll be happy.
I didn't take DM for a captions kind of guy.
We also have a very special guest for Q&A today, Kaylee Calder, who is a lead game producer. Welcome, Kaylee.
Hey, it's really great to be here with you guys, and I'm really excited to talk about the Gauntlet.
Kind of hope they get into the details of how the scoring works. We did see a little bit of information on this previous during the Campfire live stream, so I'm kind of hoping we get more into that as well as the reward side of things. I know they mentioned there was supposed to be 9.
No other dev interview I watched does this shit. Yeah, I mean, I like that they do it. It's just like I feel like they're wasting so much more time on their presentation of these events rather than the actual events themselves. Like, bro, hop on a Teams call, share everybody's screen, sit there and talk about it. Boom. You know what I mean? Because like Last Epoch did something like kind of similar, but like it's not like this at all, dude. They're the definition of like what happens when you go like big corp.
25 gear and unique, so
Yeah, I was telling Marcus, I think it's cool that we have a developer deliver this information publicly. So shout out to Kaylee and all the developers, all the guests we've had come on. The Gauntlet is the first player versus environment competitive game mode coming to Diablo 4. It's part of a larger framework called Trials that holds all this content.
It only took a couple, it's only been almost a year, guys. And we've got our first competitive PvE. Better late than never.
Together. Bonus points if you noticed the in-game tab already. The way it works is every seasonal week it's active. Players in World Tier 4 can compete in a static, non-linear dungeon. That basically means it's designed for you to take whatever pathway you see fit.
AKA everyone is using the same dungeon and it's a weekly thing.
And see who can earn the highest score possible. You earn points by killing monsters, killing bosses, opening chests, all within the 8-minute time limit. To promote as much fairness as possible, everything will be the same for everyone, from the map layout, the shrine placement, boss locations, monster affixes, all identical.
Except you're going to bring in your same build, obviously, that you decide for yourself outside of the actual challenge. Everything else inside of it, once you get into it, will remain the same across the board, but you will be bringing your own gear, etc. into it.
Take your character into battle, solo or with friends, tackle and master the Gauntlet with 16 different ladders, separated by class.
Okay, so it looks like they have Blooded, Steadfast, Iron-Willed, and Worthy is the ranks down there.
Size, platform, and of course, hardcore and normal modes. Marcus is now going to take you through the overall design of the Gauntlet.
Thanks, Ruben. So the Gauntlet is designed for mastery. Every week is like a new puzzle for you to figure out. You or your group can develop strategies specific to your build or playstyle. Since the dungeon is non-linear, you will need to decide the best route to take. You're also going to have to figure out the best time to loot chests or to pop pillars. Speaking of pillars, we are adding 2 unique versions to the Gauntlet. The first one we're adding is called the Pillar of Glory. This pillar gives you a score multiplier for the duration of the effect.
That's kind of cool.
It's best used when there's lots of monster density to gain the highest score possible.
I like it.
Monster kills grant points. I can definitely see players kiting enemies to these locations to maximize the effect, or pairing it with other pillars where possible.
Yeah, you grab a whole bunch of minions, including the bosses, because apparently you can drag those. You take them to the pillar, you get the multiplier, then you kill them all, yeah.
100%.
Secondly, we're
Genius.
adding a Pillar of Proving, which respawns all enemies in the area.
That's huge.
This one is very fun, and hey, who doesn't love more monsters to kill? These kinds of tools in the Gauntlet allow for some creative ways to score points, which could be different from what other players are doing, helping to set yourself apart from the competition. And if that wasn't enough for you,
I mean, like, let's not pretend like there isn't just going to be a meta with all this. You know what I mean? Like, I know some of this is, there's probably, some of it's got to be RNG. Of course, I would imagine there has to be some kind of RNG into like those pillars and shit like that. But I mean, everybody's going to be farming the resets and the XP, I would imagine, and then a speed shrine. You know what I mean? Like, there will be a meta 100%.
in the Gauntlet, bosses spawn shrines when you die.
Oh, the barb.
We're now entering a shrineception. You're going to need to bring a barb on your squad. If you get too deep in the Gauntlet, you might need a kick. All these additions really incentivize us to think strategically when approaching each weekly Gauntlet map. Bloodshed is now going to walk you through how the leaderboards work. Take it away.
Okay, here we go.
Once you complete your first run of the Gauntlet, you'll be placed in a named rank. We're calling them...
Bro, like, I'm so with you. Like, what you just said earlier, like, I don't want to pause it here for, like, no reason, but, like, this entire, like, I thought the campfire chats were bad. You know what I mean? Like, I thought those were, like, kind of awkward and shit like that. A lot of times, we're like, dude, this is just, I don't know. Not a big, like, I like the concept. Execution. It doesn't matter, like, their production and shit like that to the actual gameplay, but, I don't know. This just feels, like, weird to watch.
Seals. As you attain higher scores, you will gain better seals. Each will have predetermined score thresholds, so you could actually technically skip right to the final seal.
Like, it's like they're sitting here talking to me like I'm a fucking child. Like, they literally talk to... The Diablo is one of the most, like, veteran ARPGs in the entire genre, bro. Basically invented it. And they're sitting here talking to their player base like they... Like, this is the first of its kind, and this is season 1 of the first ARPG, bro. It's like, bro, we understand what you are saying. We get it. Ranks at the bottom here. We understand the shrines and the pillars. I don't know. It's crazy.
Seal if you're a beast. The seals are blooded, steadfast, iron-willed, and worthy.
Look
The
kinda
top
cool.
1,000 players will be displayed on the leaderboard, and each Tuesday the leaderboard will reset, and depending on your named rank, you will earn an emblem and some loot caches. The gear level you receive scales depending on your seal rank, so worthy players should be getting 925 level items.
So
Good.
if you get worthy, you get 925 items, basically. Okay, got it. Now, I wonder if hopefully there's a chance of Ubers. I don't know if they mentioned that or not. Maybe, probably not.
These ranks will serve as a bearing for how well you're doing. Remember, the
Bro,
leaderboard-
there is no reason to not have Ubers be a possible drop. Can somebody please, and like, this is going on YouTube, so maybe the comments can tell me this. Why do we not have Ubers be able to drop anywhere in the world? I'm not saying that they need to be common and like, oh, we need to up the drop rate, but why wouldn't Uber not be possible to get while running the Gauntlet, logically speaking? Like, I will take any kind of like a slim, like, oh, I guess I could see that. Like, I genuinely don't see, I'm not saying maybe don't have variations, right? Like, it's already a 0.0001% drop, right? But maybe in this area, you know, 0.0001 is actually a little bit above base, and then you have some other areas where it's a little bit lower. Like, I'm totally okay with like variations in, like, you know, depending on the area. Like, if you're in like fucking PoE, for example, like, they don't even do this, but I would totally understand if technically in Act 1 or the first like 5-6 acts, it was impossible to get like a, you know, I don't know, something like some crazy like unique in the game. I don't even want to say something like a Mage Blood or a Mirror, because those are just like, Diablo doesn't even have anything that compares to that shit. I mean, I guess like you got the Harlequin crest thing or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same. Like, I just see no reason why, like, then what's the point? Like, I get it, because this is like a leaderboard and this is what they've needed since launch, but why would you not have Ubers drop from this? That way people who are, you know, just like, it takes something away from it, you know what I mean? Just like that, and it just feels like it's a net negative to remove that. Like, why not just keep it? They never drop anyway. Like, why say that you can't if they don't? You know what I mean? And obviously they haven't said anything here, but I just don't understand why you wouldn't be able to get Ubers from this. I find that to be ridiculous.
only houses the top 1,000 players for that particular ladder. So climbing through the seals is a nice way to indicate where you are.
Unless he was talking about the rewards. If it was the rewards, like, oh, from the kind of like when you turn in your Tree of Whispers things, like if they were saying like, oh, they can't drop from that, that's okay. That I totally get. But I just mean like in the gauntlet itself or anything like that. It should be able to drop.
In your journey. In addition, the top 10 players each week for every ladder are going to be immortalized forever in the Hall of the Ancients.
That's cool.
You'll be able to go back years later and
That'd be
show
cool.
your children just how much of a badass you were. All right, Marcus, what questions do we have for Kaylee?
So for Q&A, we try to think of questions the community might have, or sometimes we just want to see how developers approach certain mechanics.
Are the Uber uniques have a chance of dropping? How common will uniques be from it? These are questions I'm assuming people are going to say. How different will the dungeons be? Is the layout going to change, or only the monsters in them?
So Kaylee,
He's
shrines
exactly
only
on.
spawn when a boss is killed, right? When you're exploring the Gauntlet, you're only going to come across pillars. So for the shrines that spawn when a boss is killed, do those change at all?
So when you're killing one of the bosses in the Gauntlet, they are always going to drop the same shrine every single time. So you can kind of rely on that every time you run through the Gauntlet. And that shrine is going to be...
I get why they do that, but like I don't know, like I almost kind of, from a competitive standpoint, you don't want there to be any RNG, right? Because there is a leaderboard involved and you want it to be kind of as even playing field, so to say, like the actual map itself, and really kind of let the builds do the talking. And if shrines and all that stuff, like, or the pillars, things like that, were random for each, then I guess you could see how that, you know, it could make somebody who is not as good at the game potentially get a better advantage through RNG than somebody who actually is better at the game but didn't get the extra buff from shrines because you can't attain it on your gear. So I guess that would be, that's fair, I guess. I understand it.
Be one of the ones you could run into in the world. So you're going to have some variety there too.
I have a question. When people are placed on the leaderboard, can we see what build they're running at the time of completion?
So you will get a shortcut to the player's profile, which will show you the build they
They're gonna be private. They're gonna be private.
currently have, but we do not have a snapshot of their kind of their.
Okay, this was the
Fucking knew it, bro. I fucking knew it.
most common question of basically, can we see what they use to clear it? And you're only going to see what their answer is. You're only going to see what they are actively wearing at the moment. So if they clear it and then they change the build, you're not going to see what they use at the time. So this is sort of like D3's leaderboard a bit.
Yeah. But you can't change your thingy when you're in the gauntlet. So I guess this is like kind of okay, right? Again, you guys can tell me if I'm an idiot for that, but I feel like because you can't mess with your gear, the same gear that you walk in with is going to be the same gear that you're walking out with. I guess unless there's maybe like a drop at the end, so technically it would be different, but that shouldn't, any drops and stuff that's picked up at the end of the gauntlet shouldn't have anything to do with the time thing. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I just don't maybe understand why that's not good enough, but I think that's okay. As long as it has like what like kind of class they are, or abilities, that's fine.
Where you can, I actually like having a leaderboard where you can go and kind of pick through people's builds, look at their stuff in game. I think that's pretty cool. So
build that they had at the time, but we are going to be looking at ways to further improve the Gauntlet and trials in the future. So if the mode proves really popular, it's definitely something we consider.
Nice. So Kaylee, do you have any tips and tricks for new players trying?
Bro, like I feel like that's not hard to just put out at launch. You know what I mean? Especially because you launched it midway through season 3. I feel like if you gave, like, I don't know, any half decent dev team, you could probably get them to somehow implement the build. Like just like some graphics on there, like associated with what class somebody's running, and some that like their main abilities. Within what? It's the season will probably come out like what, April? Maybe? Wait. I guess it should be kind of like, yeah, April, I would assume. Like, dude, come on, man. Come on. You guys already released it at the wrong time. At least make sure it's great and ready to go.
out the Gauntlet? I know you unlock it once you hit World Tier 4, but is it really something only level 100 players should be attempting?
So yeah, if you're below level 100, you are certainly welcome to give it a go, take a stab of it, throw down the proverbial gauntlet, as they say.
But the mobs are level 124, if I remember. In fact, you can see up here, level 124. So it's scaled to like a tier 79 rare dungeon, if I remember correctly.
It's definitely going to be more of a challenge. It is definitely built with mastery in mind for people who are comfortable in that level 100 space. For newer players, you are going to want to...
Bro, the average Diablo player ain't doing the Gauntlet. If it is scaled to a level 70 Nightmare Dungeon, the average person ain't playing the Gauntlet. And that's cool, because the Gauntlet with the leaderboard is meant more for the sweaty. But they're saying you can go before 100, of course, because it's not really about 100, right? It's more about diving into the Gauntlet when you're like in early 90s-ish. But like, bro, that's just like, that's so fucking... That's crazy. Like, you play PoE and you are literally sitting there like, bro, what level are you mapping in PoE? Last Epoch, I'm in endgame, bro, at like level 58. And then from there, like, I don't, you know, it's not like it's like, oh, I'm level 58 now to min-max time. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like you want to have this Gauntlet like kind of a little bit earlier than I think like the 90s. But at the same time, like, it makes sense because everybody needs to be geared the hell out to actually rank on the leaderboard. I don't know how I feel about it.
Have a build that you both enjoy playing and you have a good understanding of. And, you know, I
just want to make it clear too, like, I'm nitpicking at this point. Like, I think the overall concept of the Gauntlet and the way that it's been implemented so far, because I've said this was posted 2 days ago. It's literally March 6th, so it's been out for a couple days, and it's been positive so far from what I've heard. I still haven't played it, but it's just nitpicking. I still, like, I'm actually happy with the Gauntlet and what they did just overall. It's just kind of like a quality of life stuff.
You should have plenty of time to do that as you're leveling up. And then it's all about bringing that curiosity, figuring out the puzzle that each Gauntlet kind of provides in which path you're going to take, how you're going to kill as many monsters as you can to maximize those points, open chests at the right time, all that kind of thing. I personally think it's going to be really fun to tackle this as a newer player with friends in a party. So you can help each other with your builds and figure out the best route together that's going to really help you hit those seals. And you never know, maybe you'll surprise yourself.
I love it. To my knowledge, we can use consumables inside the Gauntlet, but can I just swap my skills around, swap my gear around when I'm inside?
No.
No, you're not going to be able to swap your gear or skills once you go in, so you're going to want to make sure you're fully prepared before you kind of enter. You can use consumables, so you can kind of maximize your build on the fly as you're playing through.
You can pop a potion.
And again, this is one of those things that we'll look at making improvements to or changes to as the Gauntlet is live and everybody's enjoying it.
I actually like that you can use consumables, but you can't swap your gear around all the
time. I 100%
you make
agree.
Your build, you go in with the build and see how the build performs. It makes it less annoying for those types of builds where you constantly have to switch gear and min-max a million different things outside of just doing the actual fight itself.
I'm definitely ready for the
I like
Gauntlet,
it.
So big shout out to Kaylee for joining us.
I'm not even going to pause it.
Perspective. Well, that seals it for today. See y'all in Sanctuary.
Okay, so the Gauntlet is coming, and as far as I'm aware, this is coming on Tuesday. More than likely, this is sort of the thing like they did with AOZ, which is this is probably a testing to see if it's going to be a more permanent feature. I would assume if the Gauntlet's well received, that it would be something that would come back in other seasons. Since it is just a leaderboard and they change up the dungeon once a week, I don't see why this couldn't be a more permanent feature. It probably will give us a big...
I 100% agree here. I think it's not even a question. They're seeing if it's going to be perma. It's been 2 days since it launched. The Reddit page has been taking it pretty good. I've seen a little bit of action on Twitter. People talking about it. I know DM was... I didn't know he was playing it. I thought he said he wasn't gonna. Rax was on it, so, you know, we'll maybe keep an eye out for some of their videos, see how they like it. Those would be the opinions that I'm, you know, pretty curious on. Obviously, just there's a lot of other ARPG players are just, they're not even going to go back and take a look at it right now because we have Last Epoch still fresh. I mean, it's literally only been what, like a couple weeks, and PoE League is, you know, a couple weeks away. It's gonna be tough to sway it, but it's like he said, this is kind of just like a plant the seed, see what happens.
space in which they can add rewards into it going into the future. During the campfire chat, they did mention that they saw the feedback that some of the better cosmetics that are being sold in the shop that people wished were actually locked behind things like the Gauntlet, for instance, or actually rewards for actually playing in the game.
I still stand by what I said, brother. Cosmetics in Diablo 4 are shit. They're absolutely shit. Like they're priced expensive. I mean, I guess they're not like priced too bad, but the quality is garbage. I think what they need to do is actually design some cool gear, load up the shop, $15, $20, $25 bundles, and then just make just crazy animated transmogs for like the Gauntlet and like just bullshit, man. I don't know. So, have something kind of every season, and I guess the Gauntlet basically would be that like, oh, you complete this, you're gonna have this just kind of crazy, you know, set piece, like not, I don't mean set piece like actual gear, but like just your transmog, your whole outfit, like it, I don't know. I think they need to do something with microtransactions in the game. I think it sucks. I mean, like I said, they need to figure out their game first before people are going to sit there and give them money, but they need to do more with the skins.
As opposed to just purchasing them. This is something I made a video about myself, and so we'll see if that ends up coming to the game in the future. But as it stands, that's the snapshot of the Gauntlet. It will be out on Tuesday, and I'll probably take a peek at it when it comes out. I'm curious to see what your guys' comments are on the Gauntlet. Is this something you're going to play? My take on it was, this is something that if people are still playing D4, they'll probably enjoy it. I didn't think it looked that bad. There's a lot of negativity around the Gauntlet. I've been negative before. I don't think the Gauntlet looks that bad. I think it looks sort of fun. I don't think it looks like a huge game-changing thing. It's not like Diablo saved and all that, like we're hoping for that optimization, but it's not bad. I think it looks all right. But I'm curious to see if I'm way off on this one, if this is something you guys think is a giant L or not. I thought it looked kind of fun, and I'll probably poke around with it for a day or something like that and then go back to playing other games. That's about
yeah.
it. Love you all. See you on the next video, and I will be live today if you're interested in joining that.
Oh, shit. Nice, man.
Okay, ladies.
That's, I'm with them. It's like he said, it's not enough to, you know, D4 saved or anything like that. But yeah, play for a couple days, see what the fuck happens. If I had a bunch more time to stream, I'd probably try it too. I'm just not really that pressed. Holy shit. Why does every active Blizz King employees sound like they're telling their family they're okay in a kidnapping video? Dude, this is fucking true. You know, I'm glad I'm not alone. Everyone else thought the same too. These scripted, stilted conversations, true. The only question, do we have to download all 1,000 people on the leaderboard's inventory and stashes? Oh my god. This video has more views than the official video. Oh my god, dude. It's dead, dude. D4 is dead. They're scared to support DM. Holy shit, man. Yeah, that's crazy. I think he's right. I think he's right. We'll see what it looks like, you know. It's basically coming down to what they talked about with Season 4 and itemization overhaul, man. Like, that's really going to be what determines, like, how it lasts. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's going to determine how it goes. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll probably, if Season 4 comes out and it looks good, good itemization and stuff like that, I'll be sitting there playing, I'll be sitting there running the Gauntlet. It's fine by me. We got to have good itemization.